She said, "You know what the problem is? You try hard, but you'll never be on the level of the men I used to date." I said, "All right." I didn't defend myself, but the next week, when her old friend visited and revealed what her ex used to say behind her back, she couldn't even lift her head. I'm 35, been living in the same city my whole life, and I thought I'd finally found someone who got me. We'd been together for about 8 months when she said it. 8 months of what I thought was something real, something different from the casual stuff I'd done before. Her name doesn't matter. The city doesn't matter. What matters is what happened. We were sitting in my living room on a Tuesday night. I'd just finished cooking dinner, nothing fancy, just pasta and a salad, and we were watching some show neither of us cared about. Out of nowhere, she put her glass down and looked at me with this expression I had never seen before. Cold, evaluating. "You know what the problem is?" she said. I muted the TV. "What problem?" "You try hard. I can see that. You really do." She paused and I felt my stomach drop. "But you'll never be on the level of the men I used to date." I just sat there. The fork in my hand felt heavy. I put it down slowly, wiped my mouth with a napkin, and said, "All right." She looked surprised, like she expected me to argue, to defend myself, to list all the things I did for her, the weekend trips, the way I listened when she talked about her stressful days, how I always made sure she felt heard, but I didn't say any of that. "That's it?" she asked. "Just all right? What do you want me to say?" She shrugged, picked up her glass again. "I don't know. I just thought you should know where we stand." I nodded, finished my dinner in silence. She kept glancing at me, waiting for a reaction that never came. After she left that night, earlier than usual, I sat on my couch and stared at the wall for about an hour. I didn't feel angry. I felt tired, like I'd been running a race I didn't sign up for. The thing is, I'd heard about her exes before. She talked about them a lot, actually. One guy took her to expensive restaurants every weekend. Another guy had some high-level position and flew her to different cities. She never said their names, but she painted these pictures of men who had it all figured out. Men who were on a different level. I never competed with ghosts. I just tried to be present. I guess that wasn't enough. Update 1. About a week after that conversation, she texted me asking if we could have dinner at my place on Saturday. I said sure. I wasn't ready to end things yet, partly because I still cared, partly because I wanted to see where this was going. Maybe she'd apologize. Maybe she'd explain what she meant. Saturday came. I made dinner again. This time I put in more effort. Marinated chicken, roasted vegetables, the works. She showed up at 7 with a bottle of wine and acted like nothing had happened. We ate. We talked about her week. She didn't mention the comment. Around 8:30, my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, but when I opened the door, there was this woman standing there. Mid-30s, blonde hair, friendly smile. "Oh my God, is she here?" the woman asked, looking past me. My girlfriend appeared behind me. "What are you doing here?" "I was in town. I texted you like 3 times. You didn't respond, so I figured I'd just drop by. You mentioned you'd be at your boyfriend's place." She looked at me, extended her hand. "I'm one of her oldest friends. We go way back." I shook her hand, invited her in. My girlfriend looked uncomfortable. But what was she going to do? Turn away an old friend? We all sat down. The friend, let's call her the friend, was chatty. She asked me about myself, asked how we met, told stories about their college days. My girlfriend kept trying to steer the conversation away from the past, but the friend wasn't having it. Then about 20 minutes in, the friend said something that changed everything. "You know, I always thought it was funny how she talks about her exes," the friend said, laughing, "like they were these perfect guys. But I remember what they were actually like." My girlfriend's face went pale. "We don't need to." "Oh, come on," the friend continued, oblivious or maybe not. "Especially that one guy. What was his name?" "It doesn't matter. The one she dated for like 2 years. She always made him sound so amazing. But I remember running into him at a party after they broke up. He was drunk and started talking about her." I leaned forward slightly. "What did he say?" The friend took a sip of wine. "He said she was exhausting, that she always compared him to other people, always made him feel like he wasn't enough. He said, And I remember this exactly, he said. Dating her was like being in a competition I didn't know I was losing. The room went silent. My girlfriend stared at her glass. Her jaw was tight. He also said, the friend went on, not reading the room, that he only stayed because she was hot and their relationship looked good on paper. But behind closed doors, he said she was toxic, always playing mind games, always testing him. My girlfriend stood up abruptly. I think you should go. The friend looked confused. What? Why? Just go. The friend looked at me, looked at her, then slowly stood up. Okay, sorry if I... Just leave. After the friend left, my girlfriend and I sat in silence for what felt like 10 minutes. She wouldn't look at me. Her hands were shaking slightly. Is that true? I finally asked. He was a jerk, she said quietly. He didn't understand me. That's not what I asked. She stood up, grabbed her purse. I need to go. You can't just leave after... Watch me. And she did. She walked out, got in her car, and drove away. I stood in my doorway, watching her taillights disappear down the street. Update 2. She didn't contact me for 3 days. No texts, no calls, nothing. On the 4th day, I got a long message. It was one of those texts that's clearly been drafted and redrafted. She said the friend had no right to bring up her past. She said her ex was bitter and lied about her. She said I should trust her version of events, not some random story from a drunk guy at a party. But here's the thing. She never actually denied what he said. She just called him bitter. I didn't respond right away. I needed time to think. I started replaying moments from our relationship, the little comments she'd made, the way she'd bring up her exes whenever I did something that didn't meet her standards, the way she'd compare me to these phantom men who apparently had more money, better jobs, more impressive lives. I realized I'd been in that competition the whole time, and I was always going to lose because the men she was comparing me to didn't exist. Not the way she described them anyway. They were just ideas, fantasies, and I was the real person standing there, trying my best, being told it wasn't enough. A week after the friend's visit, my girlfriend showed up at my apartment unannounced. It was late, almost 10 at night. She looked like she'd been crying. Can we talk? She asked. I let her in. We sat on opposite ends of the couch. I've been thinking a lot, she started, about what she said, about us. I waited. Maybe I have been unfair to you. Maybe I do compare too much. She looked at me. But it's because I have high standards. Is that so wrong? High standards are fine, I said. But treating someone like they're never going to measure up? That's different. I never said that. You literally said I'd never be on the level of the men you used to date. She flinched. I was upset that day. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? She didn't have an answer. She sat there opening and closing her mouth, trying to find words that would make it okay. But there weren't any. I think we both know this isn't working, I said. She started crying then. Real tears, not the manipulative kind. I don't want to lose you. You don't have me, I said. You have some idea of who you want me to be, and I can't be that person. She left that night. For real this time. Update 3. 3 weeks after the breakup, I started hearing things through mutual friends. Apparently, my ex had started dating that new guy I mentioned, the one who supposedly checked all her boxes. From what I heard, he had money, drove an expensive car, took her to all the places she'd always wanted to go. Everything looked perfect on social media, the kind of couple that makes other people feel inadequate. But then the friend, the same one who dropped the truth bomb at my place, reached out to me again. We'd stayed in touch after that coffee meeting, just casual texting here and there. She asked if I wanted to grab lunch, said she had something to tell me. We met at a quiet place downtown on a Thursday afternoon. She looked uncomfortable, like she was debating whether to speak at all. I probably shouldn't tell you this, she started, stirring her coffee nervously. But I feel like you deserve to know. Know what? She's already doing it again, with the new guy. The friend sighed. I met him last week. She brought him to a group gathering. Nice guy, seems genuinely into her. But the whole night, she kept making these comments, like, my ex used to take me to nicer places than this, or the last guy I dated was more spontaneous. The poor guy just sat there smiling, but you could see it in his eyes. He was confused, trying to figure out what he was doing wrong. I didn't say anything, just let her continue. I pulled her aside at one point and asked her what she was doing. She got defensive, said she was just being honest about her expectations. I told her she was sabotaging herself, that she'd never be happy if she kept comparing everyone to some impossible standard. You know what she said? The friend looked at me. She said, "At least I have standards, unlike some people." I laughed, couldn't help it. It was so perfectly her. So she learned nothing. Nothing at all. And here's the thing. I talked to another friend of hers, someone who knew that ex she dated for 2 years. Turns out the story I told you that night, there's more to it. He didn't just say she was exhausting. He told people she'd fabricated half the things she claimed he did for her. The trips, the expensive gifts, the grand gestures. Most of it was exaggerated or just made up to make herself look better. That hit me harder than I expected. All those stories she told me about her exes, all those comparisons, how much of it was even real? "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because I saw what she did to you. I saw how you looked that night at your place. Like someone had just told you you'd been wasting your time, and you were one of the good ones. You actually cared about her." She paused. "I just wanted you to know that whatever she made you feel about yourself, none of it was true. The problem was never you." I thanked her. We finished lunch, talked about other things, and went our separate ways. But her words stayed with me for days. The validation felt good, but also sad. Sad that someone could be so lost in their own illusions that they pushed away everyone real. Update 4. It's been 4 months now since everything ended. Last month, I ran into my ex completely by chance. I was at a bookstore on a Sunday afternoon, just browsing, when I heard her voice behind me. "Hey!" I turned around. She looked different. Tired, maybe. The confident energy she always carried seemed dim somehow. "Hey," I said back. "How have you been?" "Good. You?" She hesitated. "I've been okay." A pause. "Actually, not really okay. Can we talk? Just for a minute?" We walked to the coffee shop next door, sat by the window. She ordered tea, didn't touch it. "I broke up with him," she said suddenly. "The guy I was seeing after you." "Sorry to hear that." "Don't be. It was my fault. Same pattern, same problems. I kept comparing him to, I don't even know who anymore. Ghosts, I guess." She looked at me. "I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about how I don't have you, I just have an idea of who I want you to be." "You were right." I didn't respond. What was there to say? "I started seeing a therapist," she continued. "After the second breakup in 4 months, I figured maybe the problem was me. And it is. I have this thing where I can't accept what's in front of me because I'm always chasing something better. But that something better doesn't exist. It's just a way to avoid actually being vulnerable with someone real." "That must have been hard to realize," I said, and I meant it. "It was. It is." She finally looked up at me. "I don't expect anything from you. I'm not here to ask for another chance or to apologize my way back into your life. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. What I did, how I made you feel. And I'm sorry, you deserved better than that." We sat there for a few more minutes. She asked about my life. I kept it vague. Eventually, she said she had to go. We hugged briefly. The kind of hug you give someone when you're saying goodbye for real. "Take care of yourself," I said. "You too." I watched her walk away through the bookstore window. Part of me felt relieved. Part of me felt sad for her. Mostly, I just felt grateful that I got out when I did. That night, I texted the friend, told her what happened. She responded, "Good for her for finally facing it. Better for you that you're not there to fix it." She was right. I'd spent 8 months trying to be enough for someone who would never think anyone was enough. Now I was free. Free to find someone who saw me as I was and didn't need me to be anything more. Final update. It's been 6 months total since the breakup. I'm seeing someone new now. We've been on 5 dates and not once has she mentioned an ex. Not once has she compared me to anyone else. When I cook dinner, she thanks me. When I plan something simple, she appreciates it. It feels strange, honestly. Like I've been carrying weight for so long that I forgot what it felt like to stand up straight. My ex? I heard she's still single, still in therapy. The friend told me she's making progress, learning to be alone, figuring herself out. I hope that's true. I really do. Not because I want her back or because I think we'd ever work. We wouldn't. But because everyone deserves to be at peace with themselves. As for me, I learned something important. When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. And if someone makes you feel like you're perpetually falling short, that's not love. That's just someone using you as a measuring stick for their own unmet expectations. I don't regret the 8 months. They taught me what I won't accept anymore, and that's worth something. Edit. Some people are asking if the new person I'm seeing knows about all this. She does. We talked about past relationships on our third date. I kept it brief, said I dated someone who had a hard time being present. She nodded, said she understood. Didn't press for details. That's how I knew she was different. Edit 2. For everyone messaging about my ex's reaction when the friend exposed her, she didn't just leave that night and never speak about it. She actually sent me a voice message around 2 a.m. after she left, crying, saying the friend had betrayed her and that I was probably happy to see her humiliated. I never responded to that message. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Edit 3. A few people asked if I ever found out what the perfect exes were really like. After that lunch with the friend, I did some digging, not stalking, just casual curiosity. Found one of them on social media. Seemed like a normal guy. Normal job, normal life. Nothing special. It confirmed what I already suspected. The problem was never that her exes were exceptional. The problem was that she needed them to be.